Good morning, family. How are you? I'm a little stopped up this morning, allergies and all, but promise your old buddy Brooks will be fine. I tell you who shouldn't be fine. Jen Soto. She did not have one thing to say yesterday. Wow. My nerves were on needles. You know what I mean? It's like I was on rails listening to all that yesterday. So if you missed it, it is still in there. Because I could vent all day about what we had to see yesterday. Shonda said, "This enrages a very dark part of my soul." True Crime Junkie said, "Was it not disgusting she wasn't there for her daughter?" Yeah. I thought the Woody Allen stuff and the whole "it's too risky having her sleep with me" stuff was bad, but not even showing your face to look the man that the man that admitted to doing heinous things to your only child. That really takes the cake. Mir Camp said it's not surprising. She wasn't there for her when Stefan was attacking her daughter either. No. Matter of fact, she went on to somehow try to blame Maddie for it. Remember this little Jim?
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. You can't do that to me.
Why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man, but you sent your daughter to room number 4 that was lined with equipment to let him abuse her. Abuse is the G-rated word for YouTube. We know what happened. I'm too fired up. Just Me said, and locks. Hell, Dawn and Candace Wells have stayed in nicer motel rooms in Springdale, Arkansas than room number 4. Chrissy said she not only knew, she participated. Yeah, what do you think that whole too risky thing means? Butterfly. Dang, Butterfly. Butterfly said she knew and was profiting off of it. I agree. I don't know for a fact. I don't. But Homeland Security has been named in way too many of these documents for them not to be heavily involved in investigating. And as we know, if you follow the Josh Duggar group that Gaelic runs, that is a very long and lengthy investigation because, the fucking federal government is real slow about everything. Let's take a second and tell everyone, good morning, glad to see you. Hope you get a wonderful taco today because this is Uli's favorite day of the week. It's Taco Tuesday. Now, I'm always, always super proud of my friends. I am. Love my friends, adore my friends. Well, my only vegan friend that I have, I was beyond proud of her yesterday because she was in the court sitting right behind Stefan, right behind him. She heard everything. She was out hobnobbing with the attorneys, taking videos. Now, that stuff will be on her channel. Okay. Don't worry. Fair use. I will steal it from her. And I will give her credit, of course, because I certainly don't want to upset Nick in Spokane, Washington. So let's please bring up our wonderful friend, True Crime Beat, and she's going to tell us what she saw personally yesterday. Girlfriend, I still can't believe you were there and you had to look at all that. Okay, I'm going to ask you the first question.
Okay.
Does he stink as bad as people say?
I didn't smell anything, thank God. They might have made him take a shower.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. But yeah, I was trying not to look at his 2X orange jumpsuit too much because, yeah. But let me tell you guys, I haven't experienced the full blow of it because it's a very different thing to be in there. And I was trying to take so many notes and just, gather as much information I can. And, it was a lot of like the emotions that you normally would feel like when y'all were watching it. It's a different thing. It's a whole different thing, being there. And then I'm seeing Tyler and Tatiana getting upset. It was a very, strange, different, it's like a very different world to be there in person, and you're experiencing it. And then of course he had the nerve that he wanted to talk and say, I miss her so much. I'm like, ugh. Then I thought I was going to be sick,
When he spoke and he said, I hope she's in heaven because of course she's in heaven singing in the choir. She has a beautiful voice. I really enjoyed her. I thought I was going to, I wanted to beat my head into the wall.
Yeah, he said twice, I miss her all the time. At least twice, because I wrote it down twice. And I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
He said, I pray to God that they could have traded places. I'm like, ugh. And he said, I agree. He started out with, I agree. It's not fair that Maddie isn't here anymore. I'm like, gee, let's just state the obvious. But, and, it's his parents didn't show up for him, which to me was telling. Because I thought for sure that Mama Stearns would be there. But nobody spoke for him. Zero.
Oh, I would hope not. And I like what he said, and we're going to go through his statement again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was very telling when he also said, and this has torn my family apart.
Ugh, yeah. Well, like I said, I think it's telling that they were not there. To me, that spoke volumes to me. So I'm really curious if the dynamic has changed with him and his parents now, especially his mom, because his dad, we all know, just placates the wife. There, his wife for her. I can get Mama kind of being, even though he's disgusting because it's the mom, but Dad doesn't. Yeah, he's done with him. But yeah, it's
okay. Let me ask you this: when he said, "I wish I could switch places with her," did you don't want to just jump up in court and go, "Well, you could if you take the death penalty"?
Yeah, but I told myself coming in there, I said a prayer and I had to say, you know what, you have to be calm. And that's why I know when I go through the whole thing again, it's going to be, I'll probably get actually really angry. So I'll do that later today because I was trying not to have too much emotion on my face because there's a lot of deputies in there and all that, and I didn't want the judge to, I mean, you're trying to be really careful, but it's rough. It was rough because a few times I thought I was going to throw up in my mouth. I was like, ugh.
Oh, we were watching every second of it, and I kept thinking, okay, I may have to start rounding up some super chats if old Shane jumps up and goes rogue on him. You know what? You know what would have been the hardest thing for me, besides sitting behind him or looking at that thing, is seeing Madeline's dad, Tyler. I would have wanted to jump up and give him the biggest hug and squeeze in by him and Tatiana because they had no idea.
Yeah, I wanted to go talk to them, but they were in the courtroom, and even afterwards, they were talking to some people, and I didn't want to get over there. And then when they left, they pretty much left super fast. Their attorney and their other rep who was with them, because she came back and she spoke, so I have some video and audio with them. And she said some really good stuff, but they were not prepared, she said, to talk right now. So, but I'm assuming that he will. I don't know about Tatiana, but I think that he will, because Tyler spoke before, and then he got quiet. So I think he'll talk, and we just need to give him some time. And I really wanted to go over there and give him a big hug too. I mean, I really, and everyone's trying to be nice to Maddie's family, and I'm like, well, that's really hard for me, but I mean, I guess they all didn't know, but it's, like I said, it's her friends and her aunt and stuff. That was kind of hard because I don't know how much how much who knew what or whatever. I mean, it's a weird thing with this case to me. It's like, well, did anybody? I mean, obviously Jen, zero. And I'm wondering since he did no contest, can she be prosecuted on any of this? So I have questions about that because obviously we're all not lawyers and all that legal stuff. So I'm like, I'm wondering about that. So that's something I have questions about. Since they didn't use any of her stuff, and he has information on her, remember?
Oh yeah, he does.
So my question is, will she be arrested next? And I hope to God that she is.
Me too. And we remember that conversation. Oh, I wish I had it pulled up. I guarantee I can find it. Where his mom was talking to him and said, you're protecting her more than you.
Yep. Well, I hope that he has all that stuff, and I hope that he's given that to his attorneys and all that, or whoever he needs to give it to. But yeah, when I wasn't completely shocked when he said no contest to the murder, but it's
really, I about fell out of my chair.
I was sitting there and I was like, son of a, but what pissed me off is when the judge said, is this your signature here? Oh, I can't really see it. I'm like, freaking, I could have probably seen it, and I was further back than him, jackwad.
Yeah, he was playing games with the judge.
He did that on purpose. I know that. Oh, I can't really see it. He likes to play like he's helpless. So.
Well, we were sitting there and he was like, is this your signature? And he goes, oh, he acted like somebody forged his signature or something. Like he was toying with the court.
I know. I was like, what the F, man? Oh.
Now, where was JLR in the courtroom?
Oh, he wasn't in there. I think he was only outside because I don't know if he wasn't allowed in or if he was, because he seemed like he was on Jen Soto watch, which for that I do applaud him. But
excuse me. Say that again. Say that again.
I think he's on Jen Soto watch.
He was on Jen Soto watch.
Because I think that's what he was saying. I'm like, well, unfortunately, he didn't find her but I was more, I don't know Brooks. I mean, I don't know if I was surprised. I wasn't surprised she didn't show up, to be honest with you. People are commenting in those groups, that they're surprised. I say, I'm not surprised because she's a selfish, excuse the term, but she's a selfish bitch. But the fact that she didn't at least write something for them to say, even though I think it still could have been, we all still would have said it was bullshit. I thought that pretty low. You know what I'm saying? She could have at least said, I'm sorry for everything my daughter went through. Even if we all knew it was a bunch of crap. I mean, I'm just still shocked that she didn't at least write a statement. I mean, to me, it's like, what a piece of garbage. And of course, they're trying to be the advocates. The advocates that were there were trying to be nice to her family, and I'm like, oh, I didn't promise them anything, but I don't know. I feel sorry for some of her family, like I said, but I don't know. I don't know where the questions stop. I think it's Jen and maybe her mom, and after that, I can give some of them, because I don't think a lot of them knew. But I do think, for me, Jen and then maybe her mom. I'm like, I think
Jen,
there's some
Jen
stuff there.
knew.
Jen knew for sure. Jen knew for 100%, 100%. But did
I believe that Deborah Stearns had a good idea because she made the comment. She said, well, when they would stay with us, I would make sure Madeline slept by me.
So my question is, why didn't they do anything or report it? So I feel like they're also, and considering that Christopher used to be a cop, I mean, hello. And I love that investigator, huh?
What kind of cop was he? Was he like a parking lot attendant cop? Was he a Sallyport cop? Was he a detective?
Let's do it. We'll have to do a deep dive into that. What do you think? See because what he doesn't seem like, maybe he wasn't. Maybe he wasn't like a regular street cop or anything. I don't know.
There's paperwork. I don't know. But we know that Deborah had an idea, hence why she has been talking to her son this entire time, trying to deflect.
Yeah.
And then the roommate from Venezuela, I just don't know how you sat there and listened to that. We had to sit there and get an entire schooling about how bad Venezuela is, how she doesn't want to go back, but she had no idea what was going on. I'm like, the hell you didn't. You did not open your mouth at all to any criminal activity going on in that house because you did not want to get deported. You disgusting thing. You knew exactly what was going on.
She knew he was disgusting because he took pictures underneath her door.
She knew.
She knew that he was disgusting. So, yeah, why she didn't report it anonymously or something, I'll never know. I mean, to me, it's like anybody that lived in that house, they have to have known something. And they all say Madeline was the sweetest thing. I loved her smile. I loved her laugh. And that part almost broke me there. Cause I mean, it'll break me later, but I was like, really, after all that, you guys didn't help her.
No. Didn't want to go to Venezuela. Didn't want to upset Stefan. Didn't want to, have to leave the country. Nobody. The only people besides Madeline that actually I can see were 100% in the dark would be Tyler and Tatiana.
Yeah, and people are giving them shit, and I don't think that's cool because I don't think they had any idea because I think when she came there, the last time he said that he saw her was October 2023, and she was getting on the plane and she was excited. He said, "What about coming to live with me?" And then she was super excited about doing that, and then she just never got the opportunity. So, I mean, I think that, he feels awful, I'm sure, about the whole thing, and so does Tatiana. Because
you could see
the bank. They were breaking down. I mean, it's like it's disgusting because, he probably wishes, and she wishes too, that I wish she would have said something. But that's not. Apparently, she was very good at hiding it because she was groomed.
She was groomed. She was groomed.
Seriously. So when Stefan or Jen try to blame her, that pisses me off the most.
Well, when he tries to blame her, saying she should have said something, my face falls off. I mean, honestly, I go from 0 to 100 pissed real quick when anybody tries to blame a victim, saying that they are a victim because they didn't say anything. My God, she was 8 years old. She couldn't even comprehend.
She's a child. And they were stealing her money and everything. And of course, they haven't confirmed any of that, but I'm pretty sure they did too.
Of course they did.
There was a lot going on. That poor child had no privacy. I mean, she freaking lived in the living room behind like a screen. I mean, what the hell? You know, I mean, she was turning into started to turn into a teenager. She has no privacy. You know, I can't imagine that.
Than that. OJ has more privacy, and he's a cat.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to do a really quick recap. This is from WFTV Channel 9. I've got to give them credit because I don't want to upset Nick in Spokane, Washington. Now, they were the ones that had the main camera there yesterday, correct?
They had the feed. I guess whoever does it, they usually Court TV or Law and Crime get them, but FTV had it, and of course they all pulled it from them because the camera guy was right in front of me, and he told me that they had it like already in the can. So yeah, he was a real nice guy. So yes, but that was their feed camera.
All right. If we can,
so props to them. Props to them.
Props to them, because I don't think they're better camera people than the ones that caught the cheating CEO and HR at the Coldplay concert. Because I wouldn't have been able to stand still doing all that.
And today in Osceola County in the courthouse, the man who admitted to sexually abusing Madeline Soto also pled no contest to her murder.
No contest to her murder. So he's not admitting guilt for the murder. Mm-hmm. Now, how did you feel when they were reading off the sentence and they started doing the 25, 25, 25, 25, 25 for penetration? Did you about throw up?
Yeah. And I was having trouble with the math, and thankfully Ken, who said he'll pop in here shortly, we figured it was we came down to it's 4 life sentences, and it blew, you know. I'm like, he's so scared to die, Brooks, but he killed her.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Go figure. He was also scared of the stun cuff. You remember that? Oh,
they had a whole hearing about the stun cuff.
Yeah. And that deputy was in there, and I wanted to go.
Said she wants the remote. Tanya Rodriguez said, I believe both Jen and Stefan.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh, that's a powerful comment.
As part of the plea agreement, Stephen Stearns was shackled as he walked out of the courtroom to begin his life in prison. He accepted a plea deal that would allow him to avoid the death penalty in exchange for his admission of guilt. Channel 9's Nick Pampantonis joins us live outside the courthouse. Nick, family members were given their chance to speak their mind today.
Yeah, but not Madeline's mother, Jennifer, who did not attend this court hearing.
He said, but not Madeline's mother, Jennifer.
I love that. This is a good Nick. This is a good Nick.
This is a good Nick, not like the Nick in Spokane, Washington. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, but not Madeline's mother, Jennifer, who did not attend this court hearing to watch her boyfriend accept some responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around. I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her, to take me instead.
Stephen Stearns' statement after being sentenced to life in prison.
Ooh.
Take me instead. But
yeah,
he's thrown himself to the mercy of the court, not to get the death penalty, but he has I hate to say it, he has the balls to say, begging they take me instead.
Okay, and then real quick, that blonde there, because a lot of people hadn't seen her, she was going to be she was his attorney for the murder case.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alicia doesn't do death penalty cases. So, and then of course the other two were co-counsel. So I was kind of a couple rows behind him, and that was way too close for my comfort.
Okay, so I see these people, this lady behind him that should have dyed her roots before coming to court. Where were you sitting in trajectory to the lady that should have dyed her roots?
So yeah, there's like if you see that there's a guy that's one of the attorneys on his head there on the very end. There's rows right there. So that's the row that's right behind there. There's one more row, and then I was in the row behind that. So I was right near the, where all the media was. We had Channel 6 was in the first row, and I was next to like Telemundo and stuff like that. So yeah, the left side was all press, and there was a few in the back that weren't, but all the other side was family.
Okay. Kimberly Mann has a question. Could you smell him?
No, thank God, because then I would have been sick, for real.
Because they say he refuses to shower in jail. He's scared of the shower. because of what's
I was feeling they made him shower yesterday or the day before, or they made sure because he didn't stink. So, and I don't think his two, and I have to say that they seem like they're nice ladies. Unfortunately, they just had to defend him because that they got picked, public defenders. But I have a feeling that they wouldn't have wanted to be that close to him if he was reeking. So.
Prison made no mention of his involvement in Madeline Soto's death, him lying about when he last saw her, or him hiding her body on the side of a road as a search got underway. Stearns pleading guilty to sexually abusing the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend for years, and no contest to murder to avoid the death penalty. The words he chose, shocking onlookers.
Okay, hold on. Who are these people, Shan? Is that
okay? There's some advocates in there, but there's some family and friends in there. The front row,
is that Yolanda in the lavender shirt?
I think it was, because she was there. And then right behind there was some of the advocates, but the family were all on that side. I think that woman with rubbing her nose, that was a family or family friend, because she spoke, I believe. Okay. That's all family, though. On the far, if you look at the left of the screen toward the front, a lot of those are family or people who knew her.
Oh, goodness. And I understand there's tons of comments, about, oh, everybody knew.
Mm-mm.
Listen, I'm no expert on grooming, but I'm damn sure an expert on family secrets. And so when there's something that is just not mentioned within a very tight circle, as in the chick from Venezuela, Stefan, Maddie, and Jen, it's tighter than a treasure chest at the bottom of the Atlantic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I think a majority of the family really didn't know. So that I'm gonna have to go with that unless we learn something else, because I don't think they did. I really don't. And I mean, and they felt bad because that they didn't know. And then a couple of them mentioned I know you guys heard too. They mentioned that they were getting a lot of hatred. I don't think people are hating the family as they're hating Jen, and then of course they get it because of that. So they're trying to separate themselves from her, I think. That's what
I don't blame them.
Which I don't blame them either, because I don't give them hate. And, because unless they truly knew something was wrong, which I don't think they did. I mean, how the heck would, what are you going to say? They probably felt like, I guess that I should have picked up on something. I'm sure a lot of them are in that boat. They're probably thinking, I wish I knew.
Baby Kisses said, that's Magnolia rubbing her nose. That's JLR's girlfriend.
Oh, she might have, yeah.
Yeah, Sam Rowell said that's all right. Now I kind of feel like I'm doxing people. I don't mean to do that.
Yeah, she was there. Maybe she was the only one that went in the courtroom, but I'm surprised she's over there. That's in the, Yeah, she was outside. She was with him a bunch outside, so she's like about as short as me. So myself like.
But he was on Jen Soto watch, which, by the way you said that cracked me up. There's nothing funny about any of this, but he's on.
I know. It's not funny. When we laugh, we have to, that's why a lot of people, they go, oh, you guys are mean. I'm like, we're not laughing at the situation. It's just like, it's so ironic, but it's true, because that's what he was doing. He was looking for her. And I'm glad Channel 9 said it. She didn't show up. So I think they're all media and they're covering it the right way, but they're also saying, listen, this bitch didn't show up. That's what they're basically telling you without saying it that way. It's like, listen, she didn't even bother.
Pink Rose said, was the sister there that Jen lives with? Now, this is how stupid I am. Okay.
I'm not sure which one she lives with now.
Yeah, she was kicked out a long time ago.
Remember, she had a couple aunts, but I don't know specifically. Maybe when Ken pops in, you can ask him if he figured that out, because we were trying to figure out, we were looking to see who was there, and some of them didn't come, and then obviously the state read their statements.
Mhm.
So yeah. And it's
And
crazy because they have somebody Yolanda's in that family and all this other people. So you have to be careful who you're distinguishing, because there's a lot of that.
Britt said, so not one person from Maddie's family showed up. Yeah, a ton of them.
No,
Basically,
they were there. Yeah.
basically everybody except for Jen Soto.
Yep.
Onlookers.
I thought it was disgusting. I did not take that as an apology. I took that as he misses her. For whatever motive or reason, he misses her.
Soto's family signed off on the deal, and
Okay. You could see Tyler kind of sticking out there, and Tatiana and the front row. That was Deborah, their lawyer, who she spoke after they left, and I got some video. She was super sweet and nice, and she spoke a lot with them about, she gave a lot of what they were thinking, because they weren't prepared to speak. So I was appreciative because, man, she was surrounded by everybody, and I had to get in there. So I was trying to get the information because nobody else wanted to talk, which I don't blame them. They're not ready.
Britt, we did a show about this yesterday, and y'all don't forget, we have a whole playlist. When her daddy walked up, and we know the hell that Jen has put him through for, 13 years of Maddie's life. He looked like he could bite through nails. And I agree with his attorney 100% when she said this wasn't an apology. Like, he was gloating. He misses her for the enjoyment that he used to get from her. Listen to her statement again.
Murder to avoid the death penalty. The words he chose, shocking onlookers.
I thought it was disgusting. I did not take that as an apology. I took that as he misses her. For whatever motive or reason, he misses her.
Soto's family signed off on the deal and will no longer have to sit through 2 disturbing trials. In court, they remembered Madeline as an avid performer, lover of Taylor Swift, and a strong swimmer. Someone they called curious and a light gone too soon.
She was happiness. She was a joy to be around.
I'm so sorry we found out too late. But despite everything that was happening to you behind closed doors, you still remained one of the happiest human beings I've ever met.
Now, that was the aunt that was on TV initially. That she talked to people at the beginning.
That was the one that was really, I was going to ask you that. So that's the one that was really advocating for Madeline to find her.
Yes. She 100%, she had zero idea. And that's why I say, when people are attacking their family, they need to put that focus on Jen and maybe grandma, maybe, but not Jen. I mean, Jen obviously 100%, but the rest of them, I really think they didn't know. It's sad.
I guess you would find I'll leave that one alone for now. Her aunt is very pretty. I remember when she first came on, a couple of years ago, and she was frantic. Gotta find Maddie, gotta find Maddie. She
was the one that was kind of the face of the family right off the bat, besides, nasty Jen and, him. So she was the one. And that's why when she spoke, I was like, I knew exactly who that was. I was like, I recognize her. So I was like, damn,
It kind of shows you how genetics only works in some people's favor, because Jen didn't just get hit with the ugly stick. She fell out of the ugly tree and hit a branch on the way down. And then there's her sister, who is beautiful inside and out.
Oh, and Teresa was asking, I put it on my phone so I could see the chat a little bit. Her friends weren't there because a lot of them are kids, and I have a feeling that they probably were just told not to come. I think that it was probably better that they didn't.
Oh, Lord, no. Who in the world would bring a child to something like this?
They have come to the memorial. They have come to her celebration of life earlier the year. When I went to that, they were there. And, but she has a lot of friends who have spoken out for her. And, but they were not in the courtroom because they're kids. They shouldn't have to deal with that.
Okay, before we go any further, is everybody subscribed to True Crime Beat? Even if you think you're subscribed, resubscribe. That's the reason I turn things on that says subscribers, because YouTube is real slickery, okay? I'm talking like a tub of country crock sitting in the driveway in Oklahoma in July. The minute you think you're reminded, the minute you think you're subscribed, oh, look at this. Muir Camp is bilingual. See.
Oh, I didn't know that, Mirror Camp.
See, I did not know you
Thank
were.
you. Yeah, you guys, you know I love you guys. So
We
this
love
is
you.
the best community. This is the best community.
In the last hour, we also heard from State Attorney Monique Worrell, who called the death of Madeline Soto senseless and emphasized this plea deal spares her family from sitting through 2 agonizing trials. Live in Kissimmee, Nick Papantonis, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And of course, we've been following this case since the beginning, more than a year now. Started February of 2024 when Maddie Soto's mother first reported her daughter missing when Madeline did not arrive at school that morning. 3 days later, her mother's then boyfriend, who again is going to prison for life, Stephen Stearns, was arrested the first time. On the 1st of March, Soto's body was found, as Nick mentioned, in a ditch. March 12th, investigators then charged Stearns with child sex crimes after searching his cell phone. Then, about a month later, on April 24th, Stearns was formally charged with Madeline's murder, and that's how we got to today.
Oof. You know what? You know what, Brooks? He's got the same birthday as me, I realized.
What?
His birthday's 4/25. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Oh, they should wait until 4/25 to charge him with murder.
Right? They charged him the day before his, the birthday, and I thought, and I looked up when I happened to look one day, I was looking at his stuff because I don't pay attention usually, and I was like, shit. I don't want to share a birthday with his nasty ass.
Well, we'll just say his birthday is 4/24 because that's the day he was charged with murder, okay? Now, one thing True Crime Beat doesn't have to worry about is right here in the bottom right-hand corner of the news clip from Channel 9, giving full credit. This is not my content. We tested popular ungraded street meat, and this is what we found. True Crime Beat is vegan, so we don't have to worry about that. They didn't send you on any. Okay.
Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you, Susie, for putting up the link. I saw her pop the link in.
I'm getting better about that, aren't I? I think Nick put me in my place.
Nick might be proud of you. Well, no, he probably wouldn't, because he probably would not give you any accolades at all. He's kind of a.
Nick's gonna be proud of me today. Let me tell you what, because I filed that strike back against that.
You go, girl. You go, girl.
Well, I mean, you all cross your fingers because in 10 days, old Brooks may not have a channel, but that's okay. We'll figure something out.
Oh boy! Make sure y'all are subscribed to her backup channel.
Exactly. Oh, V. Oakley. Just me said fair use, Nick. V. Oakley said, suck it, Nick. All right, so you sat with the press. Now, how did you get that done? Did you print something out like Bullhorn Betty and just show up, or how'd that happen?
No, I've been lucky, and hopefully he'll pop in shortly. He's putting the paper to getting it all set for the week because they do. Ken Jackson, he's the editor for the Osceola News Gazette, and we invited him to come in, so hopefully he'll pop in shortly just for a few minutes. He is amazing, and I used to do freelance work for them, gosh, when I was in high school and stuff like that. So he kind of, hooked me up, and, for this one. So, and I'm going to try to, do some stuff for them in the future as well, because we got a lot of stuff going on. Man, Osceola County is getting pretty crazy. I'll tell you what. So, but it was very thankful to him, and, definitely, they've gotten the local information.
Well, they did great. Now, not to keep scratching the scab. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Hey, guys, we have a huge treat. Ken Jackson. Well, you introduce him, honey. You introduce him.
Well, this is Ken Jackson. He is the editor for the Osceola News Gazette. It is the local paper here in Osceola County. So he is awesome. So you could get his information. He could definitely tell you his thoughts.
He's going to come up. I want a huge round of applause for Ken Jackson. It is so nice to meet you, Ken.
Hey, Ken.
All right. Okay. There we go. Well, I tell you, if I had a nickel for every time I got an introduction like that, I think I'd have about 10 cents. So.
Well, I can do it again. We'll get you rich today.
He's a busy man. He's been busy.
It's been since Friday when we found out about the hearing. Yeah. Life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
What was your take on Stephen, changing his plea to guilty and the state of Florida taking the death penalty off?
I saw it as a possibility. I had talked about it with some people after last Monday's hearing. I knew that I had a feeling, first of all, that the murder trial, in the wake of how the trial for the 60 charges was going to go, I thought that the murder case would never happen. I thought that, okay, he goes to trial, he's found guilty, he gets 30 to 40 years for life, and his murder defense team's like, okay, what do you want? So I thought that once I heard that there was a plea deal on the table, that the state would only accept life to take death off the table, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
You with me? I know there were a lot of people who were upset, and there was one sitting directly to my right yesterday about the no contest plea in the murder case, that there is no full admission of guilt. Well, he's still going to jail for life.
For life.
The possibility of parole. He is never getting out. His death sentence will be a life behind bars. Okay. He is never getting out ever. In fact, that's our headline at aroundosceola.com. If you check, and that'll be the big print headline in Thursday's paper. So to get that in exchange for a no contest plea versus a guilty plea, really the state didn't give up a whole lot. A murder trial would have been long and drawn out and very ugly. You would have jurors and potentially family members who would see evidence. I'm sure the family may have already seen some of that evidence. But with this day and age, with YouTube, no offense, Shannon, but look, those things are going to get out. I have no doubt that those things would have gotten out. So, what it does is it brings us to closure. I know the judge, Keith Carson, had mentioned, I think just per policy, about the appeals process, that he would have 30 days to appeal. Later in the afternoon, yesterday, the state attorney's office, 9th District, Maureen Quarles' office, put out a release saying that part of the plea deal was that Stearns and his defense waive their, I don't know if the word isn't ability, but their waive any thought of appealing, which means that these family members, when they went to court yesterday, will never have to go again, at least for this case. Now, if there are other defendants that come out, nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my next question. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Okay, so I'm going to pick your brain here for a second. Journalist to journalist,
Hey, when you find one, let me know.
Okay, so Were you surprised that Jen Soto did not show up?
No,
Okay.
not at all. I didn't think that you would see her in a courtroom unless she was compelled to testify. Okay. I had heard now because I had been hearing, and geez, I have been hearing now for what are we now? 15 months in? March of last to July of this, 15, 16 months in, and where's Jennifer? Are we going to see Jennifer? Do we know if she's hiding? Is she in a hospital? Is she in a mental facility? The only answer that I had was I had on good, and anything else I had heard was third and fourth hand. So I just kind of took it with a grain of salt and a wedge of lime and a shot of, never mind.
Hey, buddy,
What I did have on good authority was that her legal counsel or representation, now, and this may be old because who knows if she kept that legal representation, she was told to lay lower than low. I have heard things that, she was staying with family in town, that she may be in Florida, but elsewhere. My thing is if she was staying with family in town, almost all of that family was in the courtroom yesterday.
They were all in the courtroom. Yeah. I mean, she might as well just go to Alaska and DoorDash up there. I've been begging Shannon for a long time to just order all the DoorDash you can, and eventually Jen Soto will show up.
Wow.
Yeah, we thought that we heard that she was delivering DoorDash. I said, well, she's dashing then. Right, Ken? If she's delivering it, she's putting it and she's dashing.
Oh yeah. It's what was the old thing we did as kids? With the doorbell.
Ding dong ditch. That's probably what she does.
Yeah. Ding dong dash ditch.
She might be able to almost be as hated as Casey Anthony.
I'll go for that.
There you go.
Well, I mean, Casey Anthony lives in Murfreesboro, Tennessee now. Jen's going to have to move. Even though she dyed her hair, she tinted it blue, and she got some more Botox, people still know who she is.
Oh God, yeah.
I'm just curious, where'd you get that info? The blue hair and the Botox.
Her sister.
Oh, okay. Her sister.
I told you.
The only reason I said that's
the
first time I'm hearing any of that.
Well, like I said, journalist to journalist, Ken. So what moved you the most during the trial? Not trial, but the hearing yesterday. Well, Shannon's loving that journalist to journalist line. What really got you with all the people that were talking?
To be honest, I mean, you knew impact statements were coming. I kind of knew some of the things that the defense was going to bring. I had seen Beth Bourdon in the courtroom before. She was the one, oddly enough, that last fall had asked Judge Karstens, since she had other death penalty cases on her docket, I was like, hey, can we move this to 2027? And if you had seen the look on the judge's face at that moment, is like, are you serious? And it was like, how about no? So, and I'm sure I have others that are in the same boat as me as this was Stephen Stearns attempted an apology. Now, it's not that he gave one. I'm surprised that he went ahead and did that, or his counsel let him do that. Because if I'm not mistaken, that was read after he was sentenced. Wouldn't you want to say something on your behalf to the judge prior to sentencing to try to maybe sway him from life in prison, and then maybe you get that 30 or 40 years?
Yeah,
that's what surprised me.
Yeah, he did it after, which was like, really?
That's a really good point. You would think, if you're throwing yourself to the mercy of the court, why would you give a statement after they already sent you up the river without a paddle?
Good question. Wow.
And what he said about Madeline made me throw up, about how much he enjoyed her.
No doubt.
What was the mood in the courtroom when he was talking and saying those things?
Oh, it was, you could cut the tension with a knife. You got to understand that you had numerous law enforcement there. You had the local media who I recognized, that if I were to count them on my hands, I would have run out of fingers. Shannon, I don't know if you know, Channel 6 had 3 people there.
Yeah, they had 3.
Mike, Ginger was in the back, and then I know Catherine Silver was outside the courtroom. She was probably in the truck downstairs. So yeah, it was, I guess the word is palpable. One of those 50-cent words, journalist to journalist.
It was super quiet though. We all were like at attention. I mean, it was like,
I think Shannon and I were kind of looking at each other like, is this really happening? I mean, are we really hearing this?
And he looked at me, he goes, what happened? I said, he's going to speak. And he's like, oh my God. I mean, we just looked at each other. I'm like, okay.
Well, like really, I couldn't believe it.
And here's the thing. I have heard defendants who are about to be sentenced do that same sort of thing, but it has always been in my experience. It's always been before the sentence is handed down. Always. This was after, and it just seemed out of place and just didn't make any sense. And then, oh boy, I don't know if you guys caught Court TV last night. Vinny's show. Vinny's actually on vacation, so but they had the think tank, and it was basically defense lawyers, or it was a mix of defense lawyers and prosecutors, and they were all like, "This guy's the worst of the worst." Oh, yeah. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm defending him, but as I've told other people before, at least in Orange and Osceola County, Stephen Stearns did not have any kind of record. I mean, not even a traffic ticket. Now, maybe back home in, what was it, Northport? Maybe there was, because I never did think to check court records down there. But here's a guy who had never been in trouble with the law before, ever. Now, I think the punishment fits the crime, most definitely, at the minimum. I could make a case for the death penalty, but the process of getting there to do that would have been ugly. But let me form my words here correctly. He was punished for his crime. Worst of the worst, I don't know. When I think of worst of the worst, I think of volume. I think of somebody who has done this over and over. Now, granted, he did it for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. If what he really did matches up with the evidence.
And we've covered some bad ones here. Brooks knows. I mean, we've covered. I think of Harmony Montgomery. I mean, there's a lot that are. You hate to say worse than that. But every day we look at the news, I know, Ken is like, he says, every day it's like, really, this parent did this or this supposed person. So it's like, it's hard to know, who's the worst of the worst anymore. Cause it's all just so awful.
Right. People downloading, people downloading child porn. It's just like a dime a dozen, like quite literally while this was going on, the sheriff's office here sent out a release about someone that got arrested for that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It happens all the time, and Homeland Security is all over it.
Oh, especially with the Internet Crimes Division now. Those outfits are beefed up so much now locally with sheriff's offices and with police departments that if you're doing that, you're going to get caught. I mean, at what point? Criminals are criminals for a reason because they're not any damn good at anything else. Mm-hmm. How can you not realize that you're going to get caught? Or if you're online talking to a air quotes 14-year-old boy, how stupid do you have to be? Well, they're a criminal, so answered my own question.
Exactly. They're criminals. Like you said, it's the only thing they're good at, and they get sloppy and they get lazy. Just like you mentioned, they think they're talking to, you said, the 14-year-old boy. This happened around my neck of the woods. I'm in Northeast Oklahoma. Well, could you imagine showing up to a CC's Pizza and all of a sudden the 14-year-old boy cuffs you and throws you in the back of a car and beats your ass all the way into the car?
Hey, Brooke, you said you're in Oklahoma. Are you anywhere near Guthrie or Edmond?
No, that's about that's about an hour from me. How come?
Okay.
You from here?
No. Our paper's ownership here owns the papers in Edmond and in Guthrie.
Really? Guthrie is the original capital of Oklahoma. Then it got moved to Oklahoma City. I'm just right outside of Tulsa.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but what do you think, Ken? Do you think they're going to go after Jen at all? That's what I have questions about that.
It would not shock me. I know early on, actually maybe a little later than early on, because I think we can delineate when Kissimmee got this case.
Yeah.
And I did want to, because I was thinking about it last night, talking to my wife about how all this started for me with this case. But they had said that they were not, KPD, Kissimmee Police, were not pursuing charges against Jennifer Soto. Now, that's not to speak for Orange County Sheriff's Office, who was also heavily involved with this.
Right.
It would not surprise me if we never hear from her ever again. It would not surprise me if we get told, that she's been charged with. Now, what's hard to look up for, at least in Osceola County, is that there was a Jennifer Soto who was like an assistant director for the Osceola County, the clerk of courts here. So to look up the name Jennifer Soto, you get a lot of riffraffs kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So to find, because I think the same boat, I don't believe, Jennifer Soto, Madeline's mom, had any legal trouble in this county either. In fact, you know what? While I'm sitting here, I'm going to try to click it up, and I'm sure that I looked at this before, and I'll see what comes up. But just real quick, I wanted to share this at least with somebody about how this all started from this case. So I live in Orange County. I live in Orlando. And I remember on the night, would have been February 26th of 2024, hearing on the news that there was a child who went missing from middle school. Mom went to pick her up. She never came out. Blah, blah, blah. And then I saw, okay. Do we know Jen Soto's date of birth?
Oh God.
Do you think?
I don't. She's not on the Christmas card list.
Do you think 1988 would be?
That's about right.
Yeah, I would think.
Let's see, that would be 13. That would be 37.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be her. That would be about right.
That's about right to me. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, because I started covering it at the same time when she was missing too, so it's like
and then I saw it was in Hunter's Creek. I'm like, okay, well that's very close to the Orange Osceola County line. I'm just going to keep aware of this. And then by Tuesday morning, it was, when I found it was very close to me. So I just put a real quick online update. Authorities looking for this girl that went missing from Hunter's Creek Middle School. Put up this would have been on Tuesday morning, 27th. Put up the update. And then it was around lunchtime. So I went down and just go for a walk through downtown Kissimmee. And everywhere in downtown, like every third window was, have you seen this missing child? Wow. And I'm like, wow, this is hitting close to home. And by that afternoon, it dawned on me that, okay, they lived in Kissimmee. All right, this is my story now. And it went from there.
Yeah.
And you did a great job with it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's just sort of the journalism, the instincts just kind of took over. But
you gave Madeline the dignity she deserved. And I can't say that about other people in your field. I don't want to name names. But some people just really wanted to focus on the gross,
Well, gross sells.
Yeah.
And it gets you hits and clicks.
Well, I guess me and Shannon better try that, huh, Shannon?
I can't do that. Yeah, you can't do that either. We were just, we cover so many of the missing kids and stuff, but it's just hard to, And we hear enough disgusting stuff. Like, I say Ken does too. It's like you hear enough disgusting. It's nothing shocks me anymore, and that's sad. Nothing shocks me anymore.
There is sort of a desensitization. You know the word I'm trying to do. Us getting desensitized to all of this when you hear about it quite literally day after day. It's just another one. Well, for these families, it's the first one, and God willing, the only one.
Oh, that's for sure. Okay, well, I'm going to go through Tyler's statement because I really thought he was going to go Rambo on Stephen Stearns. And you guys were right there. Okay, this is from Court TV. I'm giving credit. I don't want to upset Nick in Spokane, Washington. I'll make sure everybody gets credit.
Yeah, Ken, she's got somebody from Spokane, Washington that got on her for a piece that she did like 2 years ago. He just found it the other day. Go figure.
2.5 years ago. And I didn't give him credit.
Okay. Hey, do we know Jennifer Soto's middle name?
Bitch.
Sorry. Hang on.
Wow.
Hey, she doesn't hold back.
Could it possibly be Lisette?
That sounds familiar. Yes, Lisette.
Okay.
Remember, she used to be a vacation planner at Walt Disney World.
Fonda Ski Laverne said her middle name is Lisette. And Fonda Ski seems to think that her birthday is March 1st, 1988.
Okay.
Well, let's see here. I do have a traffic ticket here from 2019. Let's see what comes up. So, but no,
that's it.
Yeah, I thought Tyler might just go off the rails. I
wondered too, because he was right that close to him, and I thought, oh my God, if he did it, I wouldn't fault him.
Well, I was kind of worried about, I was worried about Shannon, because when you see the veins coming out and the way his fist and everything, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And, Shannon is sitting right there. No offense to you, Ken. I didn't know you at the time. And I'm like, if it becomes a huge brawl, Shannon's not exactly, she's more of a lover than a fighter, if you know what I mean. I'm like, oh boy, this is going to be bad. Just looking at it.
It would be the second time I was at the courthouse where a brawl broke out adjacent to me.
What was it? Really? So what was the other one?
I want to hear this.
The other one was, oh gosh, and it was it was a shooting case, and you had two families that didn't like each other. The guy that shot the victim was claiming self-defense, and what was it, the state's stand your ground law? And it was, because Shannon, we were on the 4th floor yesterday. This was up on the 5th floor. This is John Morgan's case, but it's that same one where when you come out, it's that L-shaped kind of foyer room,
right?
And the two families were passing each other, and one sent something to the other one, and they just started brawling.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
there was a lot of cops, not only in the I was telling that to Brooks from them. I was like, there was a lot of deputies in there, plus there was a lot of cops just in there because they were part of the case. So
yes,
it would have been major.
Yeah, I would think that if Tyler had gone full Rambo on Stephen Stearns, they would have run in and broke it up, and had a, Stearns, stop resisting. So here we go. Jennifer Lisette Soto, Santa Maria Drive.
That's her. Yep.
That's her.
She got a traffic ticket in 2019 for failure to stop. She got busted at a red light camera. Hate it when that happens. That was in 2019.
Damn,
July 31st.
Damn the luck. Too bad they didn't get her for resisting at the time. Because, I mean, we know what was going on at the time. That was just 2019. She was running that red light because she had to get home and continue grooming her daughter. Hey, totally off topic, different case. Did you cover the case of Argelio Pupo and Morgan King?
Those names don't sound familiar. Was it here in Osceola?
Yeah, it was in Orlando. The little girl who the stepdad was raping her, and the mom went to Target and got the sewing kit to fix her.
It's awful.
I wouldn't have covered an Orange County case, no.
Oh, okay, sorry. All right, let's get to Tyler's statement.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay, so I knew he was armed for bear, considering he shows up with the Viking haircut.
Mm-hmm.
I had not seen him prior with the long flowing beard.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when he came in, I had to pull focus to understand who it was. I think I actually may have recognized Tatiana first, to be honest. So.
Yeah. It took me a second too. I was like, oh wow.
You know, and I know a lot of people say, well, why did Maddie not say something to her dad? Well, you know, read the room. Just do a little bit of studying. You know, victimology 101. People, especially little girls, do not like to tell when bad things are happening to them.
They weren't that close yet, really. They were working on that. You know,
Right.
He was trying to get close to her. He wanted to get closer to his daughter because Jen was not allowing it. So, you know, they weren't close.
Oh, is it one of those, you know, if you're telling me I can't do something, then by God, I'm going to do it?
What do you mean? I don't follow.
Just, you know, Jennifer would not let him get close to his daughter, was saying, well, if you're not going to let me, by God, I'm going to do it. You know,
Oh, I think so. Yeah, Jen didn't want them to be close, I don't think.
The easiest way to get a 10-year-old boy to do something is to tell him he can't do it.
Oh, yeah.
As the father of a 10-year-old boy.
Well, I think that when she came home, remember, because he said yesterday that she wanted to come live with them next year, which of course, you know, I bet you she told her mom that I'm going to go live with my dad. And that, I'm sure
I'm wondering, and I don't know, Stephanie, did we, not Steph, Shannon, did we talk about this on the way out that, you know, if Madeline mentioned that to Stefan around the time of her 13th birthday, that Stefan was like, no, I'm not having that. And something may have happened.
That may have been why this happened when it happened. Yep. She might've said, I'm going to go live with my dad now that I'm 13. That was, he was telling me that. I was like, wow.
Which beats the excuse of when I turn 13, I want to go live in the woods.
Right. That's a very interesting thought. Maybe she did tell him. And of course he's thinking, I can't lose her. Ugh.
I think there were so many things. I mean, she was talking to friends, but she said she wanted to go live in the woods. She never disclosed to anybody what Stefan was doing to her.
Nope, never.
At all. But I kind of think, and we've seen this in other cases, when children say they want to go live somewhere else, it's kind of the beginning of the end. Now, we will never know the full results of her autopsy, if she was pregnant or not, because there won't be a trial. I was really hoping for a plea agreement for, I have to say this on YouTube, for the pictures, you know, or what are the cool kids say? The C-SCAN.
Yeah, we have to be careful.
I did not want that to be public record because I didn't want her to be victimized. And Ken, I'm sure you know this, Shannon knows for sure, there are some very scummy people out there, and FOIAs don't really take that long. And there's a ton of pedophiles out there that would just go put their money order in the mail, and next thing you know, even if things are bleeped out, they have a great imagination, dude.
It's disgusting. Yeah.
There's a creator on YouTube named Zavgirl that got the autopsy photos of Gannon Stout out of Colorado and put them behind a paywall.
It's disgusting.
She said it was educational.
Ugh.
And they were actually commenting on this little boy's Bobo.
It's disgusting. There's people on YouTube that do that, and it's like horrible.
So I'm just looking here. Interestingly enough, Jen said also got a traffic ticket in 2014 with 4 people in a car of which she was not the registered owner. And she didn't pay it on time and got her license suspended, had to pay to get it back.
Wonder where she
Jen Soto.
Wonder when she got the money. What date was that, by the way?
This was in 2014, and oddly enough, she was still living at. Let me make sure. I want to look at the. I closed it. Take a second. No, I believe it was. She was still at that Santa Maria address.
Mm-hmm.
So those are townhomes, not necessarily apartments, right?
Yeah, they're like a townhomes, and they're negated. So it's so funny because that's newer stuff. I mean, I think it's been there for a while. But
4012 Santa Maria Drive. And
guess
this, like I said, this was 2014. So she lived there at least a decade.
Yeah. Well, that's because her daddy let her live there, I guess. So.
Okay.
Well, hey.
Now, I tell you what, the roommate that kept talking about Venezuela, don't want to go back to Venezuela, that's the only other person besides Jen and Stefan, and of course, poor little Madeline, I think, that knew what was going on, because she did not want to get deported.
Yeah. That was, let me see if I can.
What's her name?
Was that was Angelica Pereiro?
Yep, her.
Yep, that's her.
And she was the one that was going off about him taking pictures of her under the door and all of that stuff. She wanted to lay as low as possible because she did not want to go back to Venezuela. So once again, somebody else is serving Madeline up to Stefan to get their own way. It's disgusting. All right, let's look at Tyler. It broke my heart. He wore the sunflower shirt because sunflowers are Maddie's favorite flowers. Yeah. This was for her. And well, I'll tell you what, we have seen some heated victim impact statements. Right. This one was something else.
I don't know if you want to cut toward the middle of it because I do have to jump off here and
know your name.
Okay,
at some point. Well, in the near term, I'm gonna have to jump up here. I can give you a couple more minutes. I guess I was gonna say if you want to jump into the middle where he gets heated.
Okay.
Yeah, push it a little bit.
Names.
My name is Tyler Wallace.
Tatiana Wallace.
Tyler, what's your relationship to Madeline Soto?
Madeline Soto was my daughter.
Go ahead.
Madeline Soto was my daughter. She was happiness. She was a joy to be around. She was quirky and intelligent. She was curious. A little forgetful like me too. That happens sometimes, but I just loved her so much. And I was not able to be in her life as much as I would like to, due to circumstances and choices I'd made, due to the way finances worked. I was strained in my relationship with my daughter, and that was finally getting better. The last time I saw her was in October of 2023, and she had come to visit for a few days. And when I took her back to the airport, I said, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to you? And she said yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak.
Now, he said when they were weak. Does it sound to you like maybe he has a little bit of forgiveness for Jen?
Maybe.
I'm not judging. I'm not judging because he obviously knows way more than I do. What was your take on that, Ken?
I think it was just more blind rage. I put me in that position. I don't know how I would fashion thoughts in a rational way to be able to. Then again, I make my living having the right thing to say at a time like that. If he's going to be a little off, okay, I completely understand. I mean, get into the mind of this particular father who is facing his accuser for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I'm not picking him apart at all. Just when he said when they were so weak, and I'm like, is he just playing the pronoun game, or does he really think that Jen was also a victim?
It sounds like the Tyler is everybody who came into contact with him was a victim in their own way. Mm-hmm. The roommate, the rest of Jen's family, Stern's parents, that Stefan's actions victimized all of them.
Oh, okay, that's why you make the big bucks, dude. That's a great point.
But yeah, the big bucks, both of them.
When I took her back to the airport, I said, you're turning 13 soon. When you turn 13, you have a choice of which guardian you're interested in staying with. Would you like to stay with me and talk to you? And she said, yes, that she would. And so I was this close to having my little girl, sir. Because of the actions of this depraved man, I will never meet the woman she was becoming. And I can't grasp it. I can't grasp the selfishness of you, the deplorability of your actions. You're depraved. You're weak. You're a coward. You're a sneak thief. You crept into a family and took advantage and exploited them when they were weak. It's torn my family apart. It's led to arguments about who can go where and who can get what and who can help who, but we're all on edge because it doesn't heal with time.
Boy, I tell you what, that is one side of sin that I would never want to know. When he said it's caused all kinds of arguments within our family, meaning we can't go here, we can't do this, because your family has been violated. Your daughter was horribly abused. And then on top of that, murdered. Mm-hmm. And so even though they're in Texas, like I said, this is a side of sin nobody wants to know.
Right.
You have to look over your shoulder all the time thinking that, knowing that they walk amongst us. And one did it one time. There's others out there.
This isn't like other deaths that I've experienced. This just gets worse. It just gets worse every time I rethink about it and the true horror of what this man visited upon her. And I can only hope that he lives a long time in prison and has those same horrors revisited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you.
His horror,
my favorite.
Me too. Revisited upon him by his fellow inmates. Thank you. And that is one thing. If what Court TV is reporting is true, he's not going to be heavily protected. There's part of this agreement that he did not get his way on. So he might get the old Adam Montgomery justice in jail, or Richard Allen justice in jail, where they're like, we can't keep him. We can't keep him here. Remember Jeffrey Dahmer, Ken?
Yep.
They'll give him some. He'll get some prison justice. He'll get,
jailhouse justice. You got it. Yeah.
It will.
Right. Well, on that sunny note, ladies, I do have to take my leave. I've got a paper to get out. So, but Shannon
Awesome.
and Brooks, thank you for
Awesome.
the
Thanks for
invite.
coming, Kim.
It's been actually this has been kind of cathartic to be able to get this out of my system. I got 2 kids at home, and I've had people come to me wondering, "Hey, how are you doing mentally?" And I'm like, "So far, so good." So, I mean, I've had other cases that have been tough as well. So, and like you said, the whole desensitizing aspect of it. But I guess now we move on unless we get charges against Jen Soto, and then
Right.
the vicious cycle continues. But now I guess we can take a breath and hey Shannon, let's go see what Marcos Lopez is up to today.
Oh, let's go to Marcos Lopez. That's my next target.
Target, wow.
We love that.
Targets are like scared deers. When they're in the crosshairs, they run.
Oh, he's scared shitless. Excuse my French. Because he loved the media until he became a bad side of it. Now he hates it.
Charlatan. So.
Yep.
So, ladies, I appreciate it. And Shannon, we'll talk soon.
Jackson. Boy, Shannon, that was great. Thank you so much for
I'm glad he came on. Yeah, I'm glad he did because he's putting the paper to bed. They do a weekly publication, and it's called Around Osceola. I'll post it in the Facebook group and stuff because he keeps right up on if you guys are interested in anything in Osceola County, because Osceola County has been getting big like Orange County over here if you're interested in Florida stuff. So there's a lot, and they have a website now, which is perfect because it's hard to do an actual paper. We all know how that goes. You get behind when we just do these stuff, right, Brooks? So
I'm telling you, he's an awesome dude. I really appreciated that.
I'm glad he came on.
Me too. And I think Tyler's an awesome dude for him to say what he said. And I hope the other inmates visit you.
Oh yeah. And he knows what'll happen. And I am curious where they're going to send him. I'm going to keep an eye on that. And I'm not saying they're going to do the full on, get rid of him, because I think he needs to suffer, but I'm sure he'll get the living crap beat out of him. For sure. And I hope he does. And if he gets an Adam Montgomery treatment, better. Hey, I told my mom about that and she was so grossed out. I was like, hey, but when I told her who he was, she goes, I said, trust me, it couldn't have happened to a nicer dude.
Your mom is hilarious. I call her Mama TCB.
She's great. She was watching it yesterday and she was like, man, she goes, I can't believe him. I'm like, he makes me sick.
Does she know you're on today and that Ken was up?
Oh, I don't know if I have to check with her. She's been, I don't know what she was doing this morning. Oh.
It has no further witnesses.
Yeah, what's sick is he sentences him and then he talks. Like Ken's right. It's weird.
And I didn't even think about that until Ken said it.
And I'm like, you're right. That was a bizarre timing. It was like, why would you speak after the judge gave you all the sentencing? It doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I mean, what is that doing for him? It just makes him, he just wanted to say something. I think he wanted the last word. That has to be it.
I think you are so on point. You are so on point. He wanted the last word.
He thinks he's more in control, and we all thought that. I mean, he felt like the same thing, like when he asked, oh, I can't read it from here. I don't know. I think he was trying to, put some sort of control. That's the kind of way he probably dealt with Madeline. And that disgusts me. And, the court, of course, only would let him placate that so far. But I think he was trying it. What happened to Adam Montgomery?
Ooh, well, I love to tell this story. All right, so he was in prison in New Hampshire for the murder of Harmony Montgomery. and a bunch of big old dudes, much bigger than him, all took a big fat dump, and then they all caught him. And they put his head in the poo-poo, and then they used a plunger, but not because they're plumbers, if that makes any sense. Not the end that you unplug a toilet with, but the stick.
Yeah. I didn't tell my mom that secondary part. I just told her about putting his head in the toilet because I didn't want to go too far with her because that might really disturb her because it's already disturbing. And I said, but if you read the probable cause affidavit that we all read, I said, trust me, every second of it, he deserves everything.
Oh,
and
look at our friend Mima. She goes, ha, 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 ha. They
That's
couldn't
awesome.
keep him safe. Yes,
Right.
Price, you're right. So they
They had
had
to
to, they had to move him to Virginia. Yes, that is what happened to him.
And Richard Allen just got moved too. So go figure.
They couldn't keep him safe in Indiana. They moved him to Oklahoma.
Yep.
And that's one I'll never figure out. The Delphi.
Yeah. Oh my God, that you and I are on the same page on that one too.
Defense input prior to sentencing.
Poor Tatiana. Tyler.
I wasn't even there, and I could hear her just wailing.
She was wailing. Yeah, she was wailing. She was the one wailing. And it was like it. And I think Ken's word desensitizing. That's how I felt in the courtroom. Because I told myself I had to do that. Even though a couple times I said something to Ken's like, I could see your expressions. I was like, when he did no contest kind of got me, and I had to try to pull back in my place. Because I mean, you know how it, Brooks, if you're in that kind of situation, obviously if you're the family, that's a different story. But you're covering it for, you're, on this side, even though we're all justice for Maddie, that's 100%. You still have to be professional and try to have this facade. That doesn't mean I'm going to go home and like not ream them out, because I can't wait to do that more later.
You have additional input.
Man, those bailiffs standing there.
He's the infamous one that had the stun cuff, man. I wanted to talk to him, but I didn't. I was afraid. I was a little nervous because I was like, he's a big dude.
Since you were there, you could be like, can I try it out? And we could have like a show and tell with Shannon.
One day we should ask him, can we check out the stun cuff? They'll probably go, you don't want it around. Well, Pat K wants one so she can check it out and we can send it to. I know Pat K wanted it to go around his neck, and then she's like, I can control it from here.
Chrissy wanted to strap it on. Chrissy wanted to strap it on like a thong and have Pat K use the remote.
There you go. He was scared. He was so scared of it too, which that's why I'm saying he is the biggest wuss. And then he put her through all that. I'm like, really?
All that.
He's been lucky in Osceola County Jail, guys. He has been so lucky right now. He complains that it's dirty and it has bugs. Oh, wait till he gets to the big house. Just wait.
Oh, just wait. They need to send him to that alligator Alcatraz y'all have down there.
Oh, he would. Well, they have a lot of the immigrants. I think it's all immigrants. But yeah, that would be great that you could let an alligator play with him for a while.
Yeah, for real. I mean, yeah, send him down there. I mean, the minute I heard about alligator Alcatraz and I saw your governor grinning ear to ear, I mean, shit-eating grin. I was like, tell me you're from Florida without telling me you're from Florida.
DeSantis was like, hey. And, and I love how Trump was being joking. And, of course, some of the media took it. So he's like, oh, we're going to teach him how to run away from an alligator properly. You have to run in like a weave. I'm like, that's true, though. I was like, they were like, oh, he said that horrible thing. I'm like, it's a joke.
It is a joke. People don't understand that.
Come on.
He trolls the media. And some people just.
Oh, he loves it.
They can't comprehend it.
It's a joke.
Plea of no contest. First degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, and his plea of guilty to 8 counts of sexual battery on Madeline Soto under the age of 12, sexual battery upon Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18 in a familial custodial role and lewd or lascivious molestation.
Okay, the sentencing gets very, very grim. I don't care about all the life sentences. When they kept talking about the 25 to 25 to 25 to 25 for all the
This is where
pictures.
Danielle stood up. Panel, yeah,
We
this
will
is where
waive
she
the
stood
notice
up.
of intent to seek
Okay.
death. We will file an electronic.
Well, she stood up
policy
earlier.
counts 21 through 60, and we are also asking that you inquire about waiving a PSI, just in abundance of caution.
I was so happy he spoke. We all love Mr. J. You remember how he was in the Sarah Boone case, y'all? I love him.
He doesn't
I
mess
was
around. Now,
No,
for
he's
those
awesome.
back, and I think everyone's pretty trained right now on 8th grade civics and true crime. Well, I'm going to say for OJ, can you explain what a PSI is?
That's the pre-sentencing investigation. And I think that's just because he doesn't have a history or anything. And yeah, they could have gone and what he did in, in jail and stuff. But I guess they just decided whatever, so they waived it. And then he also mentioned that they didn't file the paperwork before the plea to pull the death penalty. And he said they were going to file that after. Those were basically the two things that he was trying to get out there, that they were, because that's the two that weren't stated previously. So, but yeah, I was like the PSI. I'm like, I know what that is. I said, I felt so intelligent.
Girl, you're very good at these things. And you like me, I'm more like off the cuff, but you're very analytical. You should really write a book on, like, say, Sarah Boone.
Oh God, that would be something else.
Madeline Soto. I mean, you have pages and pages and pages of notes. I mean, like you have nothing else to do between your job and Toby. But I mean, really, you really are very good.
Based on the announcement from the state of Florida, the maximum potential sentence in these cases is life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. As the notice of intent to seek the penalty.
He was not talking to the microphone very well. I don't know why Karsten does that.
A lot of these judges could care less if John Q. Public hears them.
Well, we counted 4, and you know what's crazy, Brooks? One of the CNN or somebody said it was 21 life sentences. I'm like, it wasn't 21. I think it's 4 what we were counting, because I looked at Ken, I said it's 4, right? He goes 4. I mean, I don't know.
Yes, he is not entitled to a PSI on this.
See, he'll mention the appeal here in a second, which is what we've had questions about. I'm like, what?
That means he's got 30 days to change his damn mind. Do you
But
really you really
no, he's not
think you really think he's going to suck on a root beer barrel and go, you know what? Now I think about it, I'm going to go ahead and roll the dice and see if they believe me. And, I might get the death penalty.
He's not going to do it, and that's why I was telling you yesterday. I was like, I thought that would have been part of his deal, because that's how it was with Kohlberger. He couldn't appeal. It's life without parole. He's going to be the same thing. He's going to die behind bars. So that's what Ken was saying, that they were explaining that they're pretty much sure that even though he said that, it's not on the table. So
No.
like, there you go. He's no way. It's done. It's done. He's going to rot. He's going to rot.
It's a formality. And I just loved how one person after another just says, I wish you the best health. I hope you die an old man.
Yep.
The board has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury.
This judge is awesome. The court has had the opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury. Because when Tyler was staring straight at him and his eyes were bugging out of his head, and listen, you didn't need a paternity test to find out where Madeline came from. Old Jen was an incubator. She looks just like her daddy.
Oh, yeah. She looked just like her daddy. And she had everything stolen from her. And when they say that the young lady that she was becoming, and a lot of people have been picking on that, I'm like, well, she just turned 13, so she was becoming from childhood to teenage years. So that's what he means. And I'm like, gosh, people, duh. I'm like, I think when you turn a teen, it's like a whole new thing. And that's why we couldn't understand why Jen wasn't around. So I don't think that Jen really, my opinion is, I don't think she really loved Maddie. Like, maybe she did for years and something happened there. I don't know.
Shattered families. Everyone in the gallery has had an opportunity to hear the anguish and the fury of community mourning and permanently diminished. Folks joining us around the state and the country remotely have heard the opportunity to hear the anguish and fury of a meaningful future that was stolen, a beautiful promise of Madeline Soto's life extinguished permanently.
I don't know that people understand how the law divides it. Okay. So there is sexual, I'm going to say SA, from this age to this age, then this
Right,
age.
12. Yeah.
That's basically for their statistics. It doesn't mean it's okay to rape a 13-year-old. It doesn't mean it's okay that because someone's 9.5. It actually, they're stacking sentences.
Right.
Stephen Stearns, you have had the opportunity to hear that anguish and fury from your actions. As to first-degree premeditated murder of Madeline Soto, you are adjudicated guilty and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. As to the capital sexual battery of Madeline Soto while she was under the age of 12, for each count, you are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
So that might be where they got the 21.
For the sexual battery of Madeline Soto between the ages of 12 and 18, you are adjudicated guilty.
Just that
Sentenced to
term,
life
sexual
in prison
battery,
without the possibility of
out,
parole.
Shannon.
Yeah. It doesn't matter though how many he got. He's in there forever.
Lewd and lascivious molestation of Madeline Soto. You are sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. These sentences will run concurrently, meaning at the same time. The state of Florida has withdrawn their notice of intent to seek the penalty of death. These are the maximum sentences permitted to the court. Each case will have court costs that will be reduced to a civil judgment.
Now, what's interesting here is if you go to the docket, and I'll go through it later.
CF 632.
Yeah, numbers.
Are $11,163. As to 24 CF 1293, $666.
Like he's gonna ever pay that.
The court incorporates the addendum to the plea form as to each plea in 2024 CF 632.
Ridiculous.
In 2024 CF 129.
I'm glad you brought that up because anytime they sentence people to forever behind bars and they go, and on top of that, you owe $100,000. And I'm like, what?
Wow. Well, I mean, he can work. He'll whatever he makes. Like if they'll have him get a job, but obviously he'll never pay that off. But whatever he makes, he'll have to give it back to the state because if you go to the docket, it lists like teen court, domestic violence fund. It's like stuff for like children. So there's a lot of funds in there that are going to get it. So it's good to go to good places, but he makes $20 or whatever every so often. That all going to go back to the back to the
He's
state.
got the rest of his life to do it. And hey, with your luck, Shan, the next car tag you get is probably going to be made by Stefan.
Oh dear Lord. Ugh.
93. Not announced. You are adjudicated guilty as counts 1 through 8, 24 CF 632. State any further sentencing considerations?
Yes, Your Honor. With regards to count 14 through count 20 in 24 CF 632, the court sentenced to life in prison. There is a 25-year minimum mandatory with that as well. The state also provided the court with a score sheet which encompasses counts 9 through 20. It includes penetration and contact points as well. A copy of that has been provided to defense as well in the court. I haven't been made aware of any corrections or additions or subtractions.
Do not have a copy of this.
She looks like Dolly's girlfriend, PJ. That's who she reminds me of. She does. I don't know why.
She's super cool. She's moving on. This was her last case on her.
Yeah, very pretty girl. She's the one I was bragging on her shoes.
She's awesome.
Should be with the plea form, Your Honor.
It's not.
His parents don't care about his fines. He's going to have a job in jail, and what they're going to do is they're going to rob him of his money to pay these fines.
Yep.
So he don't just lay in his cell and suck on his root beer barrels.
Nope. And I hope nobody besides, I know his parents will probably still send him stuff because whatever, but I hope nobody will send him stuff. But we all know I'm sure some nasty girls will come and think that he's great. 'Cause look at Chris Watts has him and all these people. It's disgusting.
But you also have to remember, and this is a hard thing to bring up, peds aren't just men. There are women out there that are peds, and they are turned on by this dude.
Ugh.
They think
he'll get some pen pals. It's disgusting. He'll get some pen pals.
They think he is the bee's knees. And I tell you what, a job you don't want is to read the mail that comes into the jail for a ped. Can you imagine the shit people write to him?
Nope.
Mr. Stearns, you will have the right to appeal the judgment and sentences of the court. If you wish to do so, you must do so in writing within the next 30 days. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed for you. The appeal will be limited to the jurisdiction of the court to impose the sentence. Legality of the sentence itself is a condition of your agreement with the state of Florida. You are agreeing not to appeal the pretrial rulings of the court. State anything else?
See, right there, he said that. That's why I was confused. You see how he said he had 30 days? I think he had to read that. But then he goes, you're abided by this whole plea agreement. So really, he can't appeal it. So I think he's like it's like a rock in a hard place. So he's not going to appeal it.
I think some people might read a little too much into the legal jargon. It's kind of like, the old verbiage, forest for the trees. They don't really need to understand that stuff. That's the reason I get so pissed when people go, "Where's the Amber Alert? Where's the Amber Alert?" And I'm like, listen, different strokes for different folks. Every state is different. Mm-hmm. Do they really have Amber Alerts in Canada? Sure, the fuck they do.
Oh, yeah.
When do we see the polygraph? You don't get to, freak.
Nope. This is when he talks, which is ridiculous.
Okay, this is what I...
Mr. Stearns, he's been previously placed under oath.
This made me cringe.
Yeah, don't get turned on, ladies. And you were sitting right behind him.
I know, he said he wanted to speak. Yeah, he wanted to speak, and I thought, God forbid. Tyler and Tatiana probably about fell out of their chairs. I'm sure. Whew.
I hate to say it, because I don't like people put on parade during grief, but when they panned over to Tyler and you saw the veins coming out of his forehead and the back of his hands, and that bailiff started moving closer to Tyler, I'm like, oh, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. He is pissed.
That would have been interesting, though.
Girl, your luck's not that good. Hell, you had to ring the alley at CrimeCon. You'd have been the first one to get busted in the head.
I probably would have gotten knocked out. Yeah. You're like, damn it.
I would like to make a brief statement. I agree that it's not fair that Madeline is not here anymore. I still have a hard time contemplating a world where she's not around, a world which feels less vibrant and less colorful than it did before.
Ugh.
What the fuck? Hard to imagine she's not here. Well, imagine what you did to her.
He goes, I agree. Oh, but you're the one that did it all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, I was so stunned. I was like, what the F?
I bet they could have knocked you over with a feather. What were you and Ken doing when he started talking?
We leaned forward to hear because we wanted to make sure we could hear him. Not that I wanted to get closer to the nasty pervert, but murderer. sorry, be careful with you too. The awful man, but you wanted to hear him, so everyone, all the media was like leaning forward, like, because they wanted to hear it. You want to be clear on what the heck this nasty guy is saying, because I miss her so much. Barf.
I've prayed to God countless times to trade places with her.
Yeah, really? Well, you could have gotten the death penalty. And the trading places would be you in hell and her in heaven. How about that? But you didn't
talk about her more. Yeah.
But you didn't have the sack to do it.
Oh, no.
To take me instead. And unfortunately, that's just not how he works.
Yeah, like you've talked to God. Unfortunately, that's just not how he works. Guess what, dude? The state of Florida works that way. You could have gone to trial. You could have actually said, go ahead and give me death. The state of Florida works that way. And God would have been like, hey, thanks. I was busy today. Go ahead, send him to hell. We have Maddie up here.
Oh, yeah, Maddie's in a much better place.
I have nothing but sorrow for her loss.
Ooh.
And I miss her all the time. Her passing has torn me and my family apart as well. And she truly was a joy.
That right there. She truly was a joy.
Okay, I'm pausing it right there.
Ugh.
This has torn my family apart as well. Has anybody lost any sleep over his parents?
No. Deborah and Christopher weren't even there. That's why I said they were not even in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
See, that to me, I thought at least that she would show up and he would come because, of her. Because Christopher, I think once, if his wife passes before her, he's not going to do shit for Stefan anymore. But, he's been begging I need more books. Oh, root beer barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, I'm going to send you some stuff, honey. I love you. Oh. Barf.
Exactly. Chrissy said, I'm surprised we didn't hear TCB cringing.
Oh, I didn't want to get held in contempt, so I had to be super crazy. Careful in there. I was like, oh my God.
That would be tough. Because I'd have been like, well, you know how I am. I'm very animated. I'd have been like, oh hell no.
Well, I told you, Brooks. I said I'm gonna pray and make sure that I'm, super quiet because I do not want to get in trouble with the judge. Ooh.
And she truly was a joy. She was to you in room number 4.
God.
I pray to God that she is in heaven and that he's taking good care of her.
Of course she's in heaven. This is almost like a Don Wells statement that kept saying that Summer doesn't understand Jesus and didn't pay attention in church and just hopes she's in heaven. And Jeff Bobo said, well, no, God doesn't hold that against children. And here he is doing the same thing. Like they will honestly try to damn their victims to hell. I pray to God that she's in heaven and that he's taking good.
Oh, she's been in a much better place. And yeah, you're going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to live hell here on earth, hopefully, for the rest of your days. And I hope he has to think about, I hope she haunts him in his sleep. But I don't want her to haunt her in his sleep, because then she needs to do much better, happier things.
And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice.
And I hope she gets to join the choir because she had a beautiful voice. Well, why don't you go ahead and explain to the court why you were friends with her choir teacher who went to jail for the same thing besides murder?
Remember when he said, oh, we watched the movie Sister Act because I wanted her to hear the singing.
I love to hear her sing. I couldn't believe when he said she can even sing with a pencil in her mouth. And I'm like, whoa.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Dude, what?
I will miss her all the time. I will never not honor her memory. And I apologize for all the pain.
What a kick in the nuts to Tyler. Seriously.
Okay, Court TV didn't show it, but Channel 9 in, your area panned over to, or someone else did, panned over to Tyler, and he was sitting on the edge of his seat. You know what I mean? And he was in his fists, like fingers back and forth, just rocking, looking at him like, say one more thing. Say one more thing.
I'm telling you, he probably had to hold a lot in, and I think that's another reason he didn't want to speak because they rushed out. I think he'll talk, but we just need to give him his time because I think he will.
Jules said, "Sounds like he's fantasizing about
Ooh, it." Probably is.
That's kind of how I gathered it. That's how I gathered it.
Throw up.
All right, guys. Whew. Wow. Now, this case is not over, but I mean, everybody, please say thank you to True Crime Beat. Subscribe to her channel because she was there. She was, how do the cool kids say it? Boots on the ground.
Oh, yeah. And I'll have something out later, probably later today. So I have to gather all my thoughts. And like I said, it's like going back through it, it'll be something else. And I usually like to go through it, and it kind of helped to go through it this morning too, because it's different when you're in there.
Well, we're great friends. Everybody here loves you. OJ wants to babysit your bird. See, we're always.
He had a checkup yesterday. He had a checkup last night too. That was another thing. And
how's Toby doing?
He's good, except that he needs to lose weight. He's chunky. Apparently, I can't give him any more snacks.
Can you repeat that? OJ, listen.
He's chunky.
Toby went to the doctor. He's perfectly healthy, but he's a little fat. What would you do, OJ? OJ said he could help him with him being.
Yeah, I'm sure he could. He was so good at the vet, though. He was such a good boy. So
I love it. I was
so proud of him. I was so proud of him. I said, okay, I guess we're going to have to. He's like, no more Cheerios. I'm like, oh, dear God. So, he's looking at the vet while he's telling me stuff going, listen, dude, don't be telling my mama that.
Well, every time we go to the vet with OJ, I hear the same thing all the time. Is he eating a lot of snacks? And I'm like, him? Oh, he's 100% healthy. He doesn't like snacks except for ice cream, turkey legs, bacon. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's rough when they tell him that. They just look at the vet going, stop telling my mama that. Yeah.
Well, you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for keeping Madeline's name out there. Thank you. And for giving her dignity. Because as much as and I know I have fallen short many times on this channel, giving her dignity and her grace and her class. I know some channels have not. I know some channels have actually blamed her for her own demise, which, boy, that's just crazy. No, that's crazy.
No.
And thank you to our very, 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 very good friend, True Crime Beat, for being in the court yesterday and giving us, no pun intended, a bird's eye view of what was really going on. Now, I'm going to be back here in about an hour talking about a murder, a little girl out of Canada that was murdered by Lake George, New York. And it's a very strange story. It won't be a very long show, but I think a lot's going to open up on it.
Awesome.
All right, you guys are the absolute best. I'll see you back here in about an hour. Love you, Shan.
Love you. Love you guys. Bye.